It's showtime, folks!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm back once again talking Elimination Chamber, WWE Elimination Chamber, and why WWE got it wrong in both Elimination Chamber matches. Just hear me out. I'm gonna get there, but you can check out my t-shirt store, tpublic.com/user/omg Corey B. Check that out. I got a couple of nice wrestling shirts there already. Dragon Ball Super shirt there already too as well. Also, you can find me on Twitter at o.m.g Corey B and at 2SweetPod. The number 2 Sweet Pod. So, and also if you want to see what my channel is all about, I'll leave a link down below in the description. You can check out my channel. I like to talk about wrestling. I'll get into more things outside of wrestling, but look, wrestling is never leaving this channel. So let's get right on into this. WWE Elimination Chamber. We're going to start with the women's match first. Look, I thought the women's match started pretty slow in my opinion. And, you know, it picked up fairly well. Once you had more competitors enter the match. But looking at the results, we came down to Bayley, Sasha, and Bliss. Like, one thing that I did like was the obvious Sasha. You knew Sasha was going to turn on Bayley, and it was done really well. Bayley came back, was ticked off, and beat the crap out of Sasha. And look, it was all done really well. Of course, Bayley goes out, but I'm here to look at the result for this match. Alexa Bliss wins the match, and look, I was the one to say that I did not want Alexa Bliss winning this match at all because they've put her on ice for months now. She hasn't defended the title in months. They've had her in nonsensical storylines for months, and I didn't think it made much sense for her to win at all here. And it's not that I'm one of the people that's like, oh, Alexa Bliss is overrated, she shouldn't be the champion. No, I'm not one of those people at all. I think she's a decent worker. She's an excellent talker on the mic. In fact, she's the best talker on the roster as pertains to the women. So I don't have a problem with her whatsoever. I'm just saying that if you're gonna have a win, you know, make her look important prior to winning. So another reason I didn't like that result is because fans are clamoring for the second year in a row now for Sasha versus Bayley for the title at WrestleMania. We wanted, and look, last year everybody was hot for that. Everybody wanted to see Sasha versus Bayley, the Sasha heel turn, and miraculously this year people want to see it again. And I think WWE is throwing away a dream feud right now that could be for a title on the biggest stage of them all at WrestleMania. And looking forward, I don't think there's a match on Raw that can top what the excitement would be for a Sasha versus Bayley for the title with a heel turn from one of them. Like Asuka versus Bliss, Nia Jax versus Bliss. I don't think a match can top. You know, they don't have any other matches to top that. So, I mean, I just think Sasha versus Bayley was the way to go. I mean, I'm happy for Alexa Bliss. I don't have a problem with her at all whatsoever. I just don't think that this should have been her night to win because they've done nothing with her prior to it. So let's get right on into the men's Elimination Chamber. Okay. Hold on, let me get my stuff together here. Alright, it started off with Elias singing and berating the crowd. That's always fantastic. They had a slow start. Extremely slow. So I thought the women had a slow start. I kind of dozed off at times in the men's match. But here's the kicker in this entire match. Braun Strowman. They had him out there looking like Super Cena. So look, it was entertaining at first. Where, you know, Braun Strowman is throwing everybody around. You know, he's throwing the Miz off the top of the of the pod, and it was just fantastic stuff. But it got pretty weird for me when Braun Strowman, they had the segment of the match where Braun Strowman started kicking out of everybody's finisher. And once he did that, I was like, oh man, this is a bit too much for me. And immediately after I saw all of that, I said, okay, it makes utterly no sense to book him like some kind of Superman and then have him lose the match at the end. So Braun Strowman eliminates the entire roster of men in the Elimination Chamber. And it's down to Braun and Roman. So Braun is looking over like Rover, but when he eliminated Seth Rollins, look, I typed LOL on Twitter and sent it because the jig was up. Like, I was like, okay, this is what it's about. We got to get Roman looking strong. That's what it's about. So Roman Reigns wins. And I think it's utterly ridiculous because not that Roman Reigns won, because look, I knew the result. I'm not a person that's upset or anything like that. You know, people are antsy or happy to see, oh, they're mad because Roman won. No, we're not mad. We knew this was going to happen a year ago. It's the fact that, okay, Braun Strowman looked like Super Cena. What's the point in having a dude look like that? Well, I know the point, but I'm just put it to you like this. Had they had Braun Strowman lose on the spot where everybody did their finisher and everybody piled up on him, and then they got the 3 point, I'm thinking about basketball, the 3 count, I wouldn't have complained. You wouldn't have seen me complain one bit because A, I knew the result was that Roman Reigns was gonna win, and B, look, Braun Strowman took everybody's finisher and everybody jumped on him. How can I get mad at that? Dude, look, that's looking strong, not looking stupid at the end. So I'm gonna knock down a couple of Roman Reigns myths, and I'm gonna do this in the calmest way possible. Not gonna get all mad or anything like that. But I see all these myths and these arguments going on around on Twitter, so I'm about to knock them all down. Roman Reigns. The one thing I see going around, Roman Reigns, you know, he was losing matches. He was in the mid card, putting people over, having matches. Well, like I've been saying, I said this months ago. This was the off season. Now you show me a time. I'm gonna say this again, and it cannot be argued. Look, if you have any arguments whatsoever, the YouTube comments are open, my Twitter mentions are open. But there's no argument to this. If you knew that somebody was going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl prior to the regular season, and they lost some games early in the regular season, would you even care? I mean, look, I don't care about them losing regular season games because I know they're going to be in the Super Bowl. And that's what it is with Roman Reigns. I don't care. I mean, he had some fantastic matches. Obviously, matches were good. He was in there with some good workers, some decent workers. He lost some matches. So what? I knew from the start that it was Roman and Brock. This is the story that they've been telling us a year in advance. So it's tough for me to get into Roman Reigns being in the mid card when I already know the result of what's going to happen. Another thing that I seen was people telling other people that, okay, you complaining about Roman Reigns, you're wrong for that. I bet you're gonna watch tomorrow. This is the dumbest logic I've ever heard from a wrestling fan. These are the same people that was complaining when Daniel Bryan didn't get put into the WrestleMania main event initially. They came back and watched too, but now that the shoe's on the other foot with Roman Reigns, they're using that argument, to which it's ridiculous. Okay, people are gonna complain about the result, but that don't mean they should stop watching wrestling. I mean, this is something that we all love. We have our right to disagree upon something. We don't have to just stop watching. That's ridiculous. Another myth that I've seen, and I don't mean to come off like a Roman hater because I'm not. There are some things that I like about this match, and I'm gonna get to it. But another myth that I seen was that, or another complaint that I seen was that, well, John Cena did it too. They did the same thing with John Cena. Well, I didn't like John Cena's run either. That doesn't make it right. But I'm gonna tell you the difference with John Cena's run and Roman Reigns' run. John Cena started off from nothing, came up. So scruffy John Cena gets Kurt Angle, came up from that. Dr. Thugonomics got way over with the crowd, extremely over. And once John Cena got over, here's the difference. They put the United States title on John Cena, and he built himself up into the world title. And that's why John Cena was way over for a long amount of time until he started winning and winning and winning. That's when it got old. It's in reverse with Roman Reigns. Like I said, he did not have a natural progression. John Cena had a natural progression. That's why he initially got over for as long as he did. Another thing I seen was people saying, well, people weren't complaining when Hulk Hogan went to 5 WrestleManias in a row. This is a totally different thing that we have happening here. Those were the first 5 WrestleManias. Vince McMahon took a gamble. Not as much as a gamble as he'd have you to think, but he took a gamble. And Hogan was the most over wrestler in the entire history of wrestling in the 80s. And Vince McMahon had no choice but to put the most over guy in the history of wrestling getting the biggest response in the main event of WrestleMania and all of those WrestleManias so that those WrestleManias could be successful. He had to put Hogan in those WrestleManias. Not that he chose it, he just had to do it. That's just a point blank period. Can't be argued back. Another thing I'm seeing, Roman Reigns hasn't held the world title or what have you since 2016. Well, the only reason that's the case is because he got busted for Adderall. Remember, it was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins for the title. Roman Reigns loses to Seth. Dean cashes in on Seth. Remember, at the time, we were like, when that happened, the whole debate was, well, how they gonna get the belt off of Reigns? What they gonna do about Roman Reigns? So they had him lose to Seth. Dean cashes in. And the punishment after that was that they gave him the United States title. Never forget any of the facts when you debate and throw out these random years and stats numbers. They gave him the United States title. So that was the year, if I'm not mistaken, where Brock Lesnar lost to Goldberg shortly thereafter when Finn Balor got hurt. And Brock Lesnar wanted Goldberg at WrestleMania. So that was out, the world title was out of the picture. Roman Reigns got the consolation prize of The Undertaker because he was getting punished with the United States title. He dropped the United States title, gets The Undertaker. He main events WrestleMania. So that's why he hasn't held the title since 2016. And also, he didn't help get the title after that because they wanted to build to Roman and Brock at this year's Mania. So, moving on. People are talking about how Roman Reigns, he doesn't get shoved down our throats, but these are the same people that says that, yeah, I agree. Roman and Brock was known ahead of time, a year ahead of time. We knew this was going to happen. But how can you say that and then say that, okay, he was in the mid-card? You know, he was doing his thing in the mid-card. But if you admit to knowing that, okay, I knew this a year ahead of time, how can you not see where we are coming from? If you knew it a year ahead in advance as well. Moving on, and look, I'm not finished yet. People, in their quest to defend Roman Reigns, they are bashing and demeaning other wrestlers. Like, people bash Braun Strowman. Like, when people say that, okay, they need to put the title on Braun, they knock down Braun and they're like, no, he's not ready. Roman is better than Braun. And then another thing I'm saying is, okay, AJ Styles and Nakamura, we knew that was going to be the match ahead of time. So what's the difference there? That is completely different because AJ Styles did not hold the title for however long, what's a year now, Brock has been holding the title. AJ Styles did not hold down the SmackDown roster all of that time with the title. Nakamura did not get a mid-card title to hold him over all the way up into the Royal Rumble, into WrestleMania. Look, this, and going even further into that point, we didn't know AJ Styles and Nakamura would happen until AJ Styles got the title back from Jinder Mahal. Remember, like I say, don't forget the facts. Jinder Mahal had the title at that time, and we were all wondering, okay, WWE might just do this, and they might. We were all scared that they would keep the title on Jinder Mahal. AJ wins in England, and then that's when we knew it would be AJ Styles and Nakamura. That match hasn't been assumed as long as Roman and Brock. Also, another thing I'm hearing, well, AJ Styles and Nakamura shouldn't main event. Like, man, in 30 years I've been watching wrestling. 30 years I've been alive. 20-something years I've been watching wrestling. I've never seen anything like it. To where, we're talking about a wrestler, we just completely knock down everybody else in the way to get to whatever we want to get to. Like AJ Styles and Nakamura, that's a WrestleMania main event. Were we not saying that when Nakamura won the Royal Rumble? I mean, anything that's a threat to Roman Reigns is like, let's knock it down and get it up out the way. And I don't know, it's just that I don't quite get that one. And it's not a thing to where I'm mad. Look, I'm totally not mad. It's just a thing that that I find extremely funny. This entire situation is just funny. And it's just funny to laugh at. And I don't know, man. This is not a situation where I'm actually mad. I was ticked off when Daniel Bryan when it looked like, Daniel Bryan was out of the Royal Rumble. I was mad then. This, I'm not mad at. It's just another situation. Same old. And I find it funny. And lastly, for anybody that doesn't see an ending with the match, okay, let's switch Braun Strowman. What happened with Braun Strowman? Let's switch that. Let's put that with Roman Reigns. And let's have Cena be the winner over Roman. I already know, and I don't even have to assume. I know what the response would be. It would be, LOL, Cena wins. Come on, man. Y'all can't have Cena win and have Roman do all of that and then have, Cena win after all of that time. And you know what? You guys would have been ultimately right. And guess what? I would have been right there with you talking about how Roman Reigns got screwed over. But look, I can be down the middle and say that, look, that would have been wrong if it was Cena. And it's wrong here. But it is what it is. Look, I knew the result. We all knew the result that Roman would win. It's just how they got there was pretty annoying. As for Roman and Brock Lesnar, I told you there were some things that I liked about the match. And one of the things is that I'm legitimately happy that the title is going on a full-time wrestler in Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns seems to be a good person. He's not a backstage politician. That's what I like about the dude. I mean, I don't know the guy, but this is all what it seems like. Seems like a good dude. Excuse me. And he's gonna be a full-time wrestler on the full-time roster. At least the belt is gonna get back to the full-time roster. But I just had to knock down all of these myths. I seen them going around on Twitter, the fake arguments and whatnot. I mean, it is what it is. I like it for the most part. As for Elimination Chamber, they had their moments. I liked it for the most part. The Ronda Rousey thing is, the jury is still out, in my opinion, on that. We'll see how the all finishes up. And we'll see how Raw turns out tonight. Hopefully they follow up on it well. And I will be watching it definitely. So I'll be watching that. Hit me up on Twitter at o.m.g. Corey B at 2SweetPod.